So Bayern Munich have declared their pursuit of Kieran Trippier officially over. If you're to listen to the quotes from Christoph Freund, the Bayern Munich Supremo, saying tonight the Kieran Trippier issue is over. We only do what we are 100% convinced of. What is he referring to there? He's referring that Bayern Munich were not prepared to go over the odds for the transfer fee. It appears Newcastle United told them that they wanted a £20 million bid, no less, and looks like Bayern Munich have basically said, that's it now, we've left the room. And that's it for Kieran Trippier, really, in terms of a potential dream move. Let's be honest, though, he was never really pushing for the move. I think if the Newcastle had told him that he had to go, then you've really got no choice, because the club's accepted that they want to part ways with you. But Newcastle never did, or Eddie Howe certainly did not. He wanted to make sure that the player that has been so influential in the last couple of years stayed on Tyneside, and that's exactly what looks like it's going to happen, unless something really dramatic happens in the last week of the window. There is still 7 days to go, so we'll have to wait and see if they do get any more bids for senior players. I think what's worth making note of is that Newcastle really, they do still have to move players out the squad. We've seen Javier Manquillo go to Celta Vigo earlier this week, basically on a free transfer to cut the wage bill. But Newcastle do need to sell somebody. They are close to those FFP limits. And this is going to be the balancing act. But for Eddie Howe, he can't be losing his top players going into what's a crucial last 18 games. Going into those last 18 Premier League games and the FA Cup, of course, he's got to have those players at his disposal. For Trippier, he knows that he's still at a massive club. You know, he's been really influential since he signed for the club. Has captained the team on many occasions. Up until this little rough patch, he's been brilliant. I don't think he got lower than 8 out of 10 in the player ratings. So now for Newcastle, they've got to move on from this. It's been a strange one, but Bayern Munich themselves going on the record, standing up the story that you read on Chronicle Live. Newcastle United had the option to get the money back on Kieran Trippier. They chose not to do it. So if they'd have gone ahead with it, then I think, there would be potential questions asked from some sections of fans, but also others may have understood that with Tino Livramento there to play his part at right back, would it have been a decent deal moving forward? Getting the money back, chance to reinvest, trying to clear the wage bill. It would have been an opportunity for Newcastle from that point of view. But from a football point of view, it's almost like football. The football department has won the day on this one, not the finances. I know Newcastle will say everybody's united, but it's almost that Eddie Howe and his backroom team have kind of won a little bit of a battle here, potentially a political battle, because they know they're the ones who are going to get judged on results. And if he doesn't have his best players at his disposal, then, results can dip. And that's got to be something a manager has to really think of in this situation. So Kieran Trippier not going to Bayern Munich, given the quotes we've seen tonight. Could there be a late twist? We'll have to wait and see, because Bayern Munich have said it now, but Newcastle do have to move players on. But it appears that for all we've heard, Newcastle have got a price for each player. It's got to be the right price. It's not just going to be any cash bid and the player goes. And maybe that's the same for the likes of Miguel Almiron, for the likes of Callum Wilson. Yes, they are potentially on paper available, but not if it's going to be at a cost to what happens on the pitch. And I think that's what's important for Eddie Howe. That is what's important for the supporters moving forward. And I think really, whatever happens now, the fans, whatever happens now in terms of incomings, I think the fans will almost forgive. If Newcastle's squad is still intact by the end of this window, then I think we'll be glad to see the back of it. The window that started with Newcastle needing to bring players in now feels like fans would be happy just to make sure Eddie Howe maintains the players he's got.